everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, January 29th, 2023. I'm in the middle of a snow and ice storm right now, so I'm going to try to do a quick Y&R Chat before the power goes out. I just always have a bad feeling. Every time there's an ice storm or a snowstorm, I think I'm going to lose power. And today I just want to make sure I get a Y&R Chat out to you of some length. So I'm going to go quick, but I am going to start out by saying congratulations to Ms. Lauren Fenmore. Yay! It is not every day that one receives the Lifetime Achievement Award for Leadership in Fashion. Is that what it was? Lifetime Achievement Award for Leadership in Fashion. We saw the little statue, but mostly we just saw the family, the Baldwin Fisher family, which is like my favorite family, one of my favorite families. So this was a great episode. Of course, I want to say congratulations to Tracy Bregman. This was to celebrate her 40-year anniversary with Y&R. 40 years. That's really an incredible accomplishment. And I think Lauren is an incredible character to take a deep delve into. She's had a lot of different stories over the years. She's had a lot of different hair. Also over the years. And I got to say thank you. Thank you to Y&R, to the researchers, to the writers, everybody who crafted this episode to highlight her, to the editors that had to go back into, I don't even know how many hours of footage to pull all of these clips together from years past. How long did that take? And there were some good ones in there, too, that we haven't seen in a long time. Lauren has had a lot of ups and downs. I really liked the moment that we saw between her and her mother, Joanna. I think Susan Seaforth is so beautiful, and I loved seeing her there. I loved seeing really young Lauren in her wild child days, just so excited to be singing on stage with Danny, but also picking on Tracy. I mean, that was a big part of her story for so long. What did Tracy ever do to deserve it? Tracy was Danny's fan club president. Is that the truth? Because I think it was Michael who made a joke a couple weeks ago when Danny was on the show. Said, and Tracy was gushing over Danny, and I think it was Michael who said something like, "What are you, the fan club president?" Is it true? She really was his fan club president. Oh, I just love that. I wish we would have seen a couple more clips of Lauren and Tracy, but I mean, this was more about Lauren, of course. We saw Lauren's marriage to Paul. We saw no new Paul. We saw some old Paul. I kind of have a feeling that we're gonna see Paul again in the 50th anniversary season. I don't know, just call it a hunch. I feel like the stars will align here somehow. Things with Y&R and Doug Davidson definitely got rocky, but sometimes time smooths things out. And I just kind of wonder, Y&R does always still mention him. I mean, they went to the trouble of showing that relationship, and they showed it at length. And, even though the episode was about Lauren, definitely the people that she's interacted with are a big part of her history, a big part of the character too. Paul was there, and Chris mentioned him a couple weeks ago too, of course, and Lauren mentioned him this week. So Paul is gone, but he is definitely not forgotten. And I will never forget his mother. Oh, Mary Williams. I could talk a boatload to you right now on Mary Williams if there wasn't an ice storm. But since there is, I'll just say it would have been a completely different vibe if Mary Williams had been sitting there next to Fenn and his boyfriend instead of Golden Glow. You just go ahead and picture that scene. Only instead of Golden Glow sitting there, think about Mary Williams sitting there. Enough said. Ooh, Mary Williams. But we also saw, oh my gosh, that horrific scene where Sean Garrett, I think his name was, buried her alive. Literally buried Lauren alive. We saw Paul cracking open the coffin. That was some high drama back in those days. Buried alive? I could go for some of that today. I don't know if it'd fly. We also saw Lauren, after the loss of her dad, taking the reins at Fenmore's and building it into the empire that it is today. Right alongside her sister Jill. Whatever. Jill is Catherine's daughter, sitting alongside Chemo on a beach somewhere. I'll never accept otherwise. Moving on. And if Jill is Lauren's sister, then why doesn't she have anything to do with the Fenmore's business? She's so all up in Chancellor Winters. Okay, moving on. Oh, well, Lauren fell in love with Scott Granger. And she walked right into an epic, decades-long feud with Sheila Carter. It's a good thing she's dead. Do you think that Y&R was hinting at us a little bit there when Lauren said, well, if Sheila ever decides to resurrect? I kind of think so. I mean, this is the 50th anniversary season. I kind of think we may see Sheila this year on Y&R. I think she's exactly what the show needs right now. I mean, Sheila's crazy, and she does not need a podcast to talk about it. She's that kind of crazy. There are no amends. And if they are part of a larger plan. The only amends are part of a larger plan. I think the buried alive stuff, the Sheila Carter stuff, yes, it's all very high drama. Eventually, Lauren's stories started becoming a little more modern, a little less adventurous, a little more reality-based. She met Michael, of course, and they had the most spectacularly unexpected romance, I'd say. I remember being unexpectedly surprised by their romance, but totally floored at how off the chart the chemistry was between them. I mean, did you see the casino engagement scene? Like, when she said yes, a glitter cannon went off. That is how big it was. That is romance. Glitter cannon. I mean, when was the last time we had a glitter cannon, I ask you? Well, I'll tell you. I know exactly when. It was Sharon and Ray's New Year's Eve wedding. So we're due for more glitter. Maybe Y&R can remember that for 50th anniversary season. But, Y&R also showed us Michael and Lauren's ups and downs, too. They had some. I remember when he got prostate cancer. It kind of went away miraculously, as I recall, as most cancers do. But he got the prostate cancer. He started pushing Lauren away. He tried to divorce her. And I think that's when she slept with Carmine. And that almost ruined him. But, I mean, it didn't. Somehow, Michael and Lauren have survived. I looked it up. Michael and Lauren have been married for 18 years. I don't think that they ever officially divorced. So that's got to be one of the longest running marriages on a soap, right? Michael and Lauren forever. Forever. Unless, and I hate to say this, but I do kind of get this bad feeling like Michael's gonna die soon. Someone had predicted it, in our 2023 predictions, I think that Michael would die this year. And I just there's something about it that feels eerie. I just wonder if Christian LeBlanc is going to want to be done soon and he's going to tell them, I want to go out with a bang. Kill me, kill the character, and we'll, go out with a bang. But the thing is, at the very end of the Lauren episode, Michael told Lauren, I will love you until the day I die. And I got a sinking feeling. Well, knock me over with a feather. Finn Baldwin came home gay. I do declare I've got the vapors. This is exactly what I thought Y&R was going to do with Daniel. But they did it with Fenn instead. I knew they were going to do this. Pick a minor character, bring them back, make them gay. But then send them away. Real quick like. Trot them back in for the holidays, but you come and then go. We cannot have this full time. I thought it was interesting timing on Y&R's part because, this was an episode about Lauren. This was not an episode about Fenn. So Y&R could kind of slip in the gay and then let him slip away. Slip him in, slip him away. I think I really liked that the episode was framed around Lauren telling her story to Trey, to Fenn's lovely boyfriend, who I liked a lot better than Fenn, frankly. Hey, Trey. I see you, Trey. Fenn. But Trey, come on over. Sit next to me. I thought that the storytelling aspect of it kind of created that framework for the episode, but it also did not distract from the purpose of the episode, which was to celebrate Tracy Bregman's anniversary. I mean, everything between and about Fenn and Trey was very matter of fact. I mean, there was no continuation after the party was over. They were here, and then they went up the elevator and disappeared into Noah's Club, apparently. There was no drama around the reveal that Fenn was gay. Michael and Lauren already knew. No one really blinked an eye, and it wouldn't have been the place to discuss it anyway, right? So Y&R knew what they were doing here. It was all very mild. It was a breadcrumb. It wasn't the whole slice of bread, and it certainly wasn't a sandwich. It was a crumb. But I imagine that it felt meaningful to more fans than not. And I imagine that it felt meaningful to Christian LeBlanc and Greg Ricard, who are gay. So even if Y&R was unable to explore this territory with their generation of characters, well, perhaps maybe the door is cracked open to do so now. Devon said no to Lily's offer to buy him out, and Lily said no to his offer to buy himself out. So Devon says, we're going to court. Okay, well, Devon, are you prepared to lose? Because there is no way that a judge is going to side with you and force Chancellor Winters to give you your toys back so that you can go home. He signed a contract months ago. They merged the companies. He gave up autonomous control, and now he's realizing that he made a mistake and he's trying to back out, but that's not fair. And I don't think that a judge in reality would just give him what he wants because he says so. But it will be entertaining to watch. He and Lily both do have a very snooty way of arguing with each other. I mean, I don't know, they're sort of snobby in the way that they argue. They're both little snots. And it's fun to see them disagreeing, especially since they've had all these years of mostly peace and harmony between them. And I think, I don't know, probably the biggest thing they ever argued about in the past would have been whoever they were dating. I mean, Devon didn't like Kane didn't, or Lily didn't like Hillary. Oh, yeah, well, Devon, I guess, was pretty mad when Lily manslaughtered his wife and child. Oh, that caused some friction, yeah. But this is more fire and more fun for something less severe. Oh. I felt bad for Abby being right in the middle of it because I seem to remember that Abby and Lily are supposed to be best friends. That was the case in the past. It hasn't been more recently, but maybe we can get back to that and see Abby doing some peacemaking between Devon and Lily. I think Abby has great reactions. I just liked watching her reactions in the background of Lily and Devon's argument. I thought it was sort of weird how Devon asked Abby to stay for his meeting with Lily. It was almost like he was trying to stack his side with allies. Like, Lily has Jill, and he has no one. And maybe there's a reason for that. The grass is always greener over at Newman Media, I'm sure. Nate says that he is all about collaboration, and maybe a little bit of payback, too, because he sure would like to snatch Daniel's project away from Chancellor Winters. Well, in other minor news, Elena performed a life-saving surgery. A life-saving surgery. Yeah, but has she published any new podcasts recently? I mean, Audra has got some fresh new ideas for Newman Media, such as more podcasts. She got real creative by calling them audio companions and showcasts. But that's code for podcasts. You're not fooling no one, Audra. Yeah, it's like, woo, Audra and her podcast, that's flashy. Elena saved some guy's life, and it's like, boring. I mean, Nate makes and breaks a celebration dinner with Elena so that he can get right on another sweet podcast project or a gaming project. I mean, he made time for lunch with Elena just to hear her life-saving surgery story, but so isn't that plenty? He's got to get back to work. There's podcasts that need to be produced and games which need to be played. Well, also plus, though, like the fact that Nate had that lunch with Elena gave Audra a chance to go over to Crimson Lights to let Sharon know that she's staying in town and that she's no threat to Noah. Now, I don't know if that's meant to just distance Audra from the obsession or what was looking like it was going to be an obsession with Noah, because it seems like Noah and Allie are off the show for a while, or I don't know. I don't know if it's meant to distance Audra from Noah, or if we're setting up a Sharon, Audra, Chance triangle, because why else is Audra spending so much time building up this little bit of tension with Sharon? I think that Audra's going to be competing for Chance's attention. But then again, it's like then she goes and has sex with Tucker, which maybe is just sex. I don't know. I don't know what's going on between Audra and Tucker. It's almost like they love each other, like they're in love with each other, but they don't want to admit it. I mean, she hopped up out of the middle of that meeting with Nate for a booty call. Ooh, what do you guys think of that sex scene? Tucker is really equal parts total creep and also kind of intriguing. She was sitting down in that chair and he got down on the floor and he kind of put his head in her lap. And I thought, ew, he's such a creep. But on his knees is where he belongs. So that made me happy. But then they started making out and he grabbed that chair like he was going to make love to it too. And I was kind of into it. Even despite myself, I was kind of into it. And now there's this sort of sexy competition thing going on between them. Like Tucker wants Daniel's project and Audra wants Daniel's project and Tucker. Audra disclosed that information to Nate, and it looks like next week Nate's going to be questioning her loyalty. Well, gee, no kidding. The person who was a mole at Chancellor Winters might end up being a mole at Newman Media, too. And if the Newmans have anything to say about it, maybe Audra will end up being a reverse mole. A reverse double mole. A reverse double reverse mole. But because for their side this time. On the topic of podcasts, Chelsea wanted to start a mental health podcast with Billy. Podcast. Oh, don't you mean audio companion? No, I mean podcast. A mental health podcast. That would have been a real thrill. It's good to see Chelsea being manic about something. Being excited about something. But then she kind of crashed when her therapist nixed the idea, which I was like, oh, thank goodness. oh, good. Because I kind of just wish we could see Chelsea putting her new coping skills into action. Maybe back in the fashion game or something else. I don't want Chelsea to just get stuck becoming defined by her mental illness, as if that's the only thing she's allowed to do or to be or to talk about. The thing that Billy and Chelsea seem to have in common right now is restlessness. I don't think either of them really even quite know what to do with themselves. So I guess if there's nothing else to do, we might as well fall in love. I suppose that's that. And also for Billy also likes to spend his time going around town getting judgy on people. On Nate and on Audra this week and on Tucker. Billy versus Tucker. Turtleneck versus turtleneck. The ultimate showdown. Who wore it best? That's our poll question for this week at yrchat.com. Yes, that's right. I want you to pick the ultimate turtleneck wearer. Is it Billy or is it Tucker? yrchat.com. Give me your vote. I am going to have to vote for Billy. Billy gives me the Carl Sagan dark, sexy turtleneck man look. Tucker gives me the slightly lighter Steve Jobs rich nerd turtleneck version, which is fine, but just not as appealing to me personally. Okay, I laughed out loud and then backed up the tape when Tucker said to Billy, "Nice turtleneck." And Billy said, "Not as nice as yours." Okay, hold up. Did they ad-lib that? Correction. Did Trevor St. John ad-lib that? Because Jason Thompson almost seemed a little caught off guard by it. Like, he had to think quick to create a comeback. Or I don't know, maybe they're all just that good and maybe Y&R wrote it into the script and I've just got to give big props to them for having the nerve to be so self-referential. Oh, whoever it is, oh my goodness, somebody has got to get the comedy crown for the day for that little moment of gold. Well, nobody likes Tucker. Victoria doesn't like Tucker. Phyllis doesn't like Tucker. So that can only mean one thing. Victoria and Phyllis are going to sleep with Tucker. While Audra keeps him warm in the in-between, I guess. The Victoria-Tucker rivalrous tension thing just kind of popped out of the woodwork this week. And she's going to need a boyfriend, so I guess. And then the Phyllis and Tucker tension has been building. So they're clearly going to sleep together, especially with the way she's telling him to stay away from Daniel every other sentence, and she's warning Daniel against Tucker. And I kind of feel like we're just getting ready to repeat the Ashley story. And we're just sort of swapping in a couple of different ladies to see who works best with him. I can see Phyllis maybe working really well. I mean, she's going to be like sexily cautious around Tucker under the guise of, well, everything I do for my family. Hey, you know what else you could do for your family, Phyllis? Your job. Just your job. Next week, she's going to go visit Heather and try to fix Daniel's relationship. I am sure that he is going to really appreciate that. Oh, Phyllis. Stop trying to fix things. Stop trying to fix things. Oh, but also, please, keep trying to fix things. Where was Billy to help Lily put on her coat a month ago? Where was Billy when she needed all of the support then? Oh, that's right. He was wrapped up in Chelsea needing the support more. So, what's going on with this? All this tenderness week after week with Billy and Lily all of a sudden after they break up. I mean, are they going to get back together? Because now I'm kind of mad. I feel like Lily deserves someone who's going to be there for her consistently. And that includes you too, Daniel. If you want to be involved in a proper triangle, you're going to have to be there for her consistently too, Daniel. I mean, does anybody in this town know what a contract is? Daniel? Devon? Anybody? It means that after you sign on the line, you're committed. You don't just get to change your mind because things aren't going exactly the way you wanted. So, to Daniel, I say, you need to hold your horses, son. Lily doesn't owe you a week to figure things out the way she so graciously offered. If Omegasphere is on hold, then it can just get in line behind 30 other projects that are probably on hold right now at Chancellor Winners. Boo-hoo, I can't make video games to impress my ex. I'm mad at him. He was ready to jump ship, whether he was the one that took those meetings or not. He was ready. He was worried. And he was willing to jump. Maybe, Daniel, you should focus all your energy on hiring someone to replace Phyllis. Because she should be fired. An employee going behind your back to shop around the project that Chancellor Winters bought from you. You don't even own it anymore. You don't own it. You sold it to Chancellor Winters. But Phyllis went blabbing about it to Tucker. And now we've got this bidding war going on over something that isn't even available. Daniel needs to hand Phyllis her pink slip. And Lily needs to remind Daniel who he works for. That's it. I'm breaking up with Daniel. I'm breaking up with Daniel and I'm going back to Nate. But there's only one problem. I'm pregnant. But I only slept with Daniel once. And I've been making love with Nate in my head for a long time now. So I'm sure that the baby is Nate's. I only had sex with Daniel once. So speaking of Sally Spectra, she went to LA this week to sit on that fantastic couch. That was a real highlight of the week, in my opinion. That big wraparound couch in such a lush, space-age looking room where everything looked so freshly vacuumed. You could see the vacuum lines on everything. I thought, wow, that place looks fresh. That was definitely a lounge room in some building on the CBS lot because you could see the big red pillars outside in the background. And I approve. I think that is a very creative way of giving the viewers a different scene to look at. I mean, shoot, they could have closed the curtains, lit that up, and it could have been in Wisconsin. I think that is such a creative idea. Just film some other places, film at some other places at around the CBS lot. Gosh, I approve. Although I'm wondering, since when Jill is based in L.A., is that where she's been taking all those video conference calls from? She wears a lot of sweaters. Maybe it's cold in her office in L.A. So Sally went all the way there to make a pitch, and Jill canceled the meeting just because Victor Newman asked her to. Okay, all right. I would think that Jill would know to tell Victor where to stick it by now. But we can blame Nick for this. Nick gets all the kudos for this. I knew as soon as Nick mentioned Sally and Jill's business meeting to Victor that Victor was going to find a way to stop it. Because Victor wants to find a way to stop Nick and Sally from being together at all. Because Victor thinks it would cause problems with Adam once Adam comes back to the family farm. Apparently, Victor has uncovered the truth that Tucker McCall is in financial trouble, so he probably can't even afford to back Daniel's project, by the way. He blew all his money on helicopter rentals. But so, that means that Victor and Victoria see an opportunity to try to buy McCall Unlimited and fold it in to Newman Enterprises, which would force Victoria to sleep with Tucker, work with Tucker, but sleep with Tucker. And Victor just thinks that this is the thing that's going to bring Adam back into the fold after he undermines him at Jabot. Well, first of all, isn't this exactly what Victor did with Newman Media? He bought it just so that Adam can run it. And how well did that work out? Adam worked there for like a month. And then he stepped down so that his girlfriend could have it. And now Victor's just going to try the same thing again. Well, what makes him think it's going to be any different? And second of all, Adam is going to know exactly who set him up. Victor and Kyle have been super obvious about it. Why would Adam want to go to work for the person who just sabotaged him? I don't know. Maybe the whole thing's just going to backfire. Next week, Kyle is going to bring Victor some news about how exactly they can get Adam out. And Kyle thinks that he can pull all of this off without Jack finding out, but fat chance. I mean, you're right. Kyle has rationalized it all as, well, I'm doing what's best for my family company. And Kyle apparently managed to negotiate with Victor to buy some textile mills in exchange for setting Adam up. What exactly is a textile mill? I'm picturing a Dutch windmill on the water, pumping out little black dresses. A textile mill? I'm gonna need fashion leadership extraordinaire Lauren Fenmore to help explain this one to me. Best part of the week, aside from the Lauren episode, was when Jack and Diane tumbled out of bed, down the stairs, and found Tracy in the living room eyeballing them like they were two teenagers who just got caught necking. Oh, Jack is such a sap. They've had sex like one time, and he felt the need to declare that they're in a relationship now, that they're together now. She's my girlfriend now, and we're probably going to get married now. We had sex, so we're probably going to get married now. I mean, he's not wrong, but we got to get there. Maybe we're close to our next hurdle. I'm kind of wondering if the next hurdle is going to be Nikki, because somebody had mentioned a theory last week that I just thought was so good and probable, that maybe Nikki will decide to blackmail Diane into staying away from Jack, or she'll pursue charges about the whole jewel theft thing, like force Diane to break Jack's heart. Oh, that would crush poor, sensitive Jack. I'd like to see him be happy for more than just 5 minutes, but I also know that the drama must go on. Of course, you never know. The next hurdle for Diane and Jack could also be Kyle. He didn't seem too happy that Mummy and Diddy are hitting the sheets. Probably rocking the walls between the bedrooms, like he and Summer are probably having to listen to them. Oh, no. But at this point, I think Kyle has his own relationship to worry about. I'm kind of surprised by the last week's poll question. I asked you guys if we should keep Summer and Kyle together or split them up. 60% of you want to keep them together. I think that's good. I'm happy about that, because I voted keep them together too. I think they're more interesting together. I get a very real couple vibe from them, and I especially love watching them argue with each other. So it's good to know that Kyle and Summer are at least a little bit of a popular couple, even if, 40% of you want to see them Splitsville. And the hits keep coming. That was last week's Who Said It quote. It was Abby. She was talking with Sharon about the rough year that she's had. And she said, well, yeah, it's been a rough year and the hits just keep on coming. It was kind of a hard one, but Ron, Henry, Nancy, Sue W., Tina, Tanya, and Daisy, you guys got it right. Let me give you this week's quote. Here it is. There's nothing more intoxicating than a little danger. There's nothing more intoxicating than a little danger. Who said it? If you think you know, you should go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. And here's the part where I would normally be reading your comments, but I woke up this morning and I saw the weather and I see the ice on the lines, and I said to myself, maybe I just better get Y&R Chat going really early and make it short so that I can make sure that I get something uploaded for you just in case the power were to go out. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I will be back next week for sure with a full Y&R Chat, although I guess I'm saying for sure, but gee, I can't control the weather. Oh, well, I sure will try. I always do. But I hope you guys have a really good week and that you go to the website, keep those comments coming, and vote in the turtleneck poll. And I will see you next Sunday. I love you guys. Bye.